Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Recently, I was at the River Forest Library with my daughter Shalva. I think she's in the other room, which is maybe a good thing. And we had a meeting there with someone, a potential tutor. It was our first time meeting them. And Shalva, our daughter, was so engrossed with meeting her, meeting a new person and enjoying her company, that one of her friends walked into the library, came up to the table. She didn't even see him. She couldn't even notice him. And his caretaker motioned to him to go away because she could see we were in the middle of something. We had our meeting. At the very end, we walked out of the library, and just as she passed her friend, she turned around to him and she said, "Oh, hi, Felix." So in our parsha this week, we viewed the last few plagues in Egypt. The plague of locusts and then the plague of the darkness. And so God commands Moses to bring upon Egypt a darkness that can be touched. That's what the Torah says. A thick darkness descended upon all the land of Egypt for 3 days, but all the Israelites enjoyed light in their dwelling. So the commentators wonder, well, what was this darkness? What's a darkness that you can touch? Why didn't they just light a candle? So some say it was a dense darkness that we could only describe like the darkness of a fog. You can't even light a candle, one cannot move. But others say maybe it was more emotional. It was dark for so long that they just became paralyzed by their fear, wondering, would the sun ever come back? And so others wonder, maybe it was a different kind of darkness. Maybe it was more of a spiritual darkness. It was actually inside their hearts and inside their minds. And they call that the darkness of Gehinnom, the darkness, the closest that we Jews have to hell is called Gehinnom. And maybe that's what they say it was. What's the darkness of hell, the darkness of purgatory, actually in our tradition? It says, as the Torah says, people could not see one another, and for 3 days no one could move about. So what was the darkness? The darkness was not being able to see your fellows before you. Even though your eyes were open, you couldn't see them. And so actually the literal words in the Torah are Lo ra'u ish et echav. The person could not see his brother. The person could not see his sister. That's how deep they were in their own being, in their own state. And so we know there are many different ways of seeing. On the other side of it, there was a seeing that the children of Israel were in the midst of doing at that moment. There was light in the dwellings of the Israelites. They could see far. Their whole vision, their field of vision was expanded and illuminated. And the Hasidic commentators, they point out in the word dwellings in Hebrew, you find the word Shabbat. They say, what was the light that they had? It was the light of Shabbat. And what is the light of Shabbat? It's the light of feeling yourself being able to open up, of seeing with open eyes and open hearts and open souls, of really being able to see the people you love. And so there are different ways of seeing in the world. Sometimes our vision becomes so narrow, we cannot see what is before our very selves. We do not recognize a fellow walking nearby. Or if we do, we only see the exterior, we're stuck. And what is Shabbat about? Shabbat is about having that one day a week, just one day, where we can resettle ourselves into the other kind of vision, where we do see our fellow, where we can see what's going on inside and outside, where prayer and music can uplift us and take that to that expansive way of looking at the world. And really, this is what all of Shabbat is about. This is what all of Judaism is about on some level, allowing us to live our lives from that place. And it says in the Garden of Eden, there's a midrash, that Adam and Eve could see across the world. What does that even mean, that they could see across the world? I don't think it's talking literally, but it's saying that when our vision feels open in that way, we can really see far, so to speak. Our inner vision is boundless. And so naturally, we all are not capable of having that all the time. We all go through so many movements in our lives, many different moments. But our prayer and the power of religion is that we can have as many of our days as possible living from that place, seeing and experiencing the great expanses, the light of Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.